We're live. Mr. Kellner,
Good
how are you?
evening. I am doing great. How are you, Mr. Sanders? Saunders.
I'm
Saunders.
all right, just about. It's been a crazy week. It's always a crazy week, but it's just this is the week where everything has just slowed down. So I've gone from being like 100 miles an hour to like, uh. So this weekend I am show free, which is nice.
Hmm.
Um, but like earlier today, I was like, normally I have a live stream at like on Thursday afternoon, and everything's just been like, what's going on? So yeah, but it's good. I'm not complaining. But it's
Yeah.
it's nice to have a weekend free. So
Yeah.
yeah, how is
Fantastic.
how is you?
Doing well. Doing well. Um, just trying to keep my head above water. Trying to get things done. You know.
That's it. That's the good
Mhm.
thing. Like in the quieter times, that's the time when you got to kind of dig deep and do stuff. I was just telling you, I was on a bit of a course today, learning some new stuff,
Yeah.
which is stuff I should have learned ages ago. To be fair, and my brain is a little bit frazzled, but I'm like wide awake now because I'm like, wow, I want to do more. I want to do more. I want to do more before I actually forget the stuff that I've learned.
Yeah. Hey, Dennis. Thanks for tuning in. I just want to say mad props on that. You know what? I don't do that enough, and I think I kind of poke around and I read like a little bit of a section. Like when you're trying to learn something new, like with web design and things like that, instead of just diving in, doing the full course, getting it over with. Yeah, so good job, man.
It's when you're relying on other people to do certain roles, it is kind of like, do you know what? Pull my big boy pants on, take control over that. And
Yeah,
so I kind of thought, do you know what? I'm going to do a little bit more of that. Plus, it gives me a bit more leverage with the people that do that work. I can kind of go, oh, no, it's all right. I can do that myself.
yeah, yeah.
So, yeah. Dennis is here. Dennis sent me an interesting photo today, which shocks me a little bit. It was a guy in a green, I don't even know what you would call the outfit. It was like a green leotard, like a green screen thing.
Yeah.
Um, and he said he'd found a picture of me, and I looked at it, and I had to look twice. I thought he'd found a picture of me in a green leotard. It, that's the
Green.
one. That is the one. It was kind of like, wow. It was an interesting shot to say the least.
Yeah, the green
Yeah.
leotard. You got to be careful.
Well, I don't know. You probably haven't heard of him in the US, but in the UK, in the early 90s, maybe late 80s, there was a guy who became famous. It was on TV probably once a week called Mr. Methane,
Hmm.
who actually had a costume very similar to that, all green with like a superhero mask. And Mr. Methane could do the national anthem, but farting. So he'd go on like primetime TV with his black hot pants and his green leotard. They'd put
Hmm.
talcum powder over his nether regions. He'd put his legs around the back of his head, and then he would fart the national anthem. Which is when you could get away with that stuff in the 80s and 90s. I don't believe he's still around.
Hmm.
I know Alex Smith, I believe, is friends with him.
Hmm.
Shock. But yeah, but he was part of that kind of 80s, 90s club scene.
Hmm.
So yeah,
Club
in the
scene, even
club
club
scene
playing
in the
playing clubs
yeah.
with those remarkable skills. And I just got to think, it's so funny because so many of us here in the U.S., probably across the world, think of the Brits as being so sophisticated. Yet,
I mean that was proper highbrow entertainment.
yeah,
So yeah, we've got a great show lined up today as well. We've got Fraser Penman joining us from Scotland,
yeah.
that right up north there. It might be probably -6 and 6 foot of snow up there. I don't know. It's always cold up Scotland, but he's
Oh,
recently been doing a tour at the Edinburgh Fringe, so he's going to
hmm.
be telling us about that as well. So that should be quite interesting. So if you've got any questions about like shows at the Fringe, then please do drop them in the comment section for Fraser as well. And he, like me, it's the middle of the night for us, so that is quite cool.
Don't know how you do it, Grant. I don't know how you do it.
Drugs, Jim. I'm joking. It is not.
Yeah,
It is coffee. It is coffee.
it's caffeine drug. Caffeine drug.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah. Also, we've got before we get him on, I just want to give a bit of a shout out to. Do you know Tony Charles?
I do. I saw the tragic news.
Yeah, it is. Tony is a fantastic hypnotist and hypnosis trainer as well. He recently had a stroke and a bleed on the brain, which is awful news. I know his wife is, obviously very stressed about it. I believe they are trying to put something together for him. But I thought I'd put a link to the website there. Please do send Tony and his partner lots and lots of love. I think they are setting up a Just Giving page or something like that. There was something, but that seems to have disappeared. So do send them, messages of support. I'm sure as Tony rehabilitates and gets better, he would love to read that as well. But he is the gentleman hypnotist, and he genuinely is just a really nice guy. So
yeah, and I mean, this is wonderful branding. Really, the branding on his stuff was really good.
When you hear Tony speak, straight away you're like, hypnotist. He's just got that amazing velvety tones that make it so brilliant.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Do you know what? I think it's one of the, not that it's related, but over the years, there's been a few stage hypnotists, that have had, serious medical issues, a lot of it related to like blood pressure and stress and heart conditions. We have, especially if we're on the road, we have got to look after ourselves. Our health is so important.
Right.
So, yeah. So, moving on to something a little bit more positive, I shall bring him on now. He describes himself as the world's most unique hypnotist. And to be fair, if you've seen him, he is the world's most unique hypnotist. It is Fraser Penman. He is here all the way from Scotland. Please do make him feel very welcome. Here he is.
Hey, Grant, Jim, how are we?
I am good, Fraser. How are you?
I'm good, and it's the middle of the night tonight.
It is the middle of the night, and my computer screen has just gone a silly set. There we go. I'm back to normal now. Yes, it is the middle of the night. So tell us about Fraser. You have, since the last time I saw you, you have gone from being the new boy in hypnosis to headlining a tour at the Edinburgh Fringe, which is a fantastic achievement. But I can imagine there has been some stuff associated with that. So tell us about the kind of run up to that Fringe show.
Yeah, absolutely. So you're right. It was, when did we do Funny Bits? It seems like forever now, but it wasn't that long ago. I think maybe a couple of years ago, possibly. And then I had the pleasure of meeting you and Jim, obviously at Heartlands, which was pretty cool. That was awesome. And I still pretty much feel like the new boy, although things have dramatically changed and stuff. I still feel pretty new to this game, I
don't think, I don't think that feeling ever changes. I think I'm 20 years in and I still feel like I'm a new boy. So it's one of those things that it's one of the great things as well. And I'll say this, and I mean this in the best possible way. When you're new to hypnosis, you have a confidence that is brilliant, and you can achieve all sorts. You have grabbed those bulls by the horn and absolutely run with it, which is brilliant, because I held back a little bit. I thought, I'm not going to do a tour. I'm not going to do this. And it took me years to get that confidence to do that. So absolutely hats off to you. So getting back to you, tell us about the tour.
Just kind of going on what you were saying there. Sometimes I feel like I have imposter syndrome, but it's great what you said there about the kind of taking the bull by the horns, because when I first started, I thought I knew it all and I would get an agent and everything would go into place, and oh my goodness, could I not have been more wrong? It was so much more graft than what I ever thought, and we're still grafting. But yes, enough about that. So leading up to the Fringe, I always wanted to do the Fringe, and being Scottish, everybody said to me, you need to do the Fringe, you need to do the Fringe. And I had no idea. I thought you got invited, or there was this prestigious guest list that you just kind of sign up to or get offered to. And then I discovered that, no, you put yourself forward for it. So I signed up for the Fringe and totally underestimated how much hard work the Fringe is. It's a completely different ball game to anything I'm ever used to. The biggest thing for me was not knowing who's going to turn up to your shows every single evening. That was so nerve-wracking. But leading up to the Fringe, and I remember saying this to you earlier on today, I want to give people an insight of the Fringe that maybe they don't see or they don't hear, and be completely honest about it. It was absolutely amazing. Loved it, enjoyed it. But boy, there was so many things that I didn't expect to happen. And yeah, let's talk about a few of them.
Yeah. Yeah. Give us your, let's start with a super positive. What was your highlight of the Fringe?
So my highlight of the Fringe was actually, it was amazing because I got in touch with a theatre booker down there who helped actually book some theatres for next year for a tour. And I got featured in the Edinburgh Festival magazine, which is quite prestigious, which was awesome. But my highlight was actually growing as a performer. There was so many things that happened on stage the first couple of evenings that I wasn't even expecting. I was like, you need to think on your feet here. And a Scottish crowd is the hardest blooming crowd to hypnotise in the whole entire world. Not only that, the audience reaction and how you're so used to people going crazy for your shows. So when you do something and it's just like tumbleweed going across the room, you're like, oh shit, this is difficult.
I wouldn't know anything about that.
Honestly, and I've done shows where there's like a stroller going across the stage, people are still at the buffet, so for me it was like going back.
Yeah.
But yeah, growing as a performer, I was used to doing my show in about an hour and a half, kind of 45 minutes for the theatre. So for me, who also normally opens with mentalism and then ends my show with kind of like a big reveal, it was challenging for me to like compact my show and fit it all into 55 minutes. And I remember the first evening I had about, I think it was like 70 people in, which is really cool because the average attendance is like 12 people per show. And I was really fortunate that we sold out 10 nights out of the 13, so that was wicked. But for me, only having 60, 70 people in the audience was really daunting. I wasn't used to it. And I was thinking, well, 10% of the audience, 6 people. Well, what if those 6 people aren't great? I'm going to have 3 people up on stage and I've spent all this money for a videographer, for a new promo. Oh, this is going to go terrible. But what you put out to the universe, you get back, right? So I kind of just changed my mindset leading up to it. And I thought, no, do you know what? Whether there's 3 people in the audience or there's 300, I'm going to give a killer show tonight. And that's generally what happened. And I loved every minute of it. But the very first show, I opened with mentalism as I normally do. But because of the time constraints, I kind of held back or kind of ran through my kind of setup and story and everything you do around the mentalism to give it this big wow factor. And I remember doing the reveals of the predictions and everybody's just like, so night 2, I was like, do you know what? We're not doing mentalism, scrapped, and I'll spend more time on my pre-talk, on my lecture. And then I'd done a few skits as well at the start that one night I was saying, what was it? I was like, the next time you open your eyes or you hear this word and you're going to leap out your chair and do this. And the person just kind of sat in their chair and they'd done the suggestion, but they didn't leap out their chair. And I thought, back to the drawing board. So I thought it must be me and how I'm setting the suggestion up. So by night 4, night 5, just fine tuning like 2-3 words and how you set something up can make a massive impact. And they were jumping out the chairs and they did for the rest of the
yeah.
So, for me as a performer, it massively made me reevaluate the craft and what I was doing and make quick changes and make them happen for the following night. So learned a lot, grew a lot, absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, you raised a really great point there as well. It's about getting those reps in. When you're doing consecutive shows straight after each other, you get to figure out what's working, what's not, and it becomes really polished really quickly. You know, the guys that are performing, 5 or 6 shows a year, the problem with that is you're not getting those reps in. So, but don't get me wrong, as you get more experience, you can cut back on that. But yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. One of the things you do that I really like is you weave your personal story into, as is at the end of your show, you tell me your personal story. I think that's a really good way of humanizing your stage show as well. So that's brilliant. So, sorry. Yeah, go on. Go on.
Oh, me. Sorry, I thought you were going again. Yeah, the story thing was always, this kind of started with a dream many, many years ago. And it's probably from looking up to the likes of Derren Brown and stuff. And I always wanted to put something that's relatable. So when I'm doing like a mentalist trick, and there's like 5 people on stage, there's like a 1 in 5 chance. I'll relate that back to 1 in 5 men struggle with suicide or mental health, and relate it back to my story at the end, and make the kind of start of the show match up with the end of the show, so people leave thinking they were not only entertained, but he was helping people gain confidence, sharing his personal experience. And I tend to think that for my shows is what hits home with the audience the most, because we've all seen 100 hypnosis shows, and every single hypnosis show is different, and we all do the same thing in different kind of ways and the same methods and stuff. So that was just my way of putting my personal touch on it, and it seems to really resonate with people, which is absolutely awesome. I love it.
Yeah, brilliant. We all have to talk about our wins. Tell us about the challenges that you faced. What were the things that caught you off guard? What were the learning curves that you had? And what people watching this, what would they learn from doing a run like that?
Yeah, and I think as hypnotists, and I think as performers, sometimes it's a bit of a taboo topic as far as fees and money stuff. I highly underestimated how much the Fringe Festival actually costs to do. I didn't have a PR company. When you sign up to the Fringe, you get a big list of PR companies who kind of sign up to the Fringe and say, yes, we don't mind the artist emailing us, and you get an artist industry list of kind of producers and theatre tours, so you can invite to the show to hopefully propel your career and take you elsewhere. And I went through all these PR companies and looked at the ones that done possibly like comedy, because that's where you're kind of listed in the Fringe. There wasn't really variety or anything, so you're kind of picking from this list that you don't really fit, if that makes sense, because you're not a magician, you're not an illusionist. It's this kind of grey area. But anyhow, we wrote to all these PR companies. Not a single one wanted you. Not a single one wanted me. So I was like, right. So I enlisted the help of my friends and my family, and it cost me a lot of money to do the Fringe as far as posters and leafleting. And every day before the show, I would drive an hour to a train station, take a half-hour train in. I would be on the streets leafleting and flyering in the rain for about 5 hours per day for 13 nights in a row, do the show, then travel 2 hours back. So it was really exhausting. But the more frustrating thing was, if you're not with a PR company, these PR companies have like an agreement with the council that they can poster. And I thought I was doing quite good. I thought, do you know what? I'll splash out. I'll get A3. I'll get the bigger ones. No, people had 7-foot posters, and what would happen is I spent 3 hours postering, must have been about 300 posters, and I went back on the Monday and they were all ripped down. Yeah. And I did that 4 or 5 times, ripped down. By the time I came into my second week of the run, I had no posters left, and I had no money. And I borrowed money off my mum and dad, and I thought, oh, by the time we sell out and make back, it will work. And we had to get creative, and that's where the Hypno van came in. I thought, well, they can't stop that. So I think my biggest challenge was, and if I was ever to do the Fringe again, I would definitely invest. I know people invest, PR companies, to the Fringe, 20,000, 30,000 pounds, and I just didn't have that budget. I just didn't have that go behind me. Obviously, they make that back and they do it all over the world. But for me, somebody that's a small fish in a big pond, it just wasn't an option. And considering we had no PR company and we had no backing or anything like that, and everything we were doing was off our own back, to sell out 10 nights out of 13 for your first Edinburgh Fringe was absolutely incredible. And we even donated some money to charity, so that was cool. I think you asked about charity. I kind of went off on a tangent. I do this all the time.
No, do you know, it's absolutely spot on, and really well done on doing that and doing your first Fringe. It is one of those things that the Edinburgh Fringe is an amazing festival for those that don't know, and I'm sure everybody does know, but it's the biggest comedy festival in the world, and it's absolutely fantastic. And Hypnosis was well represented this year. Matt Hale was over, Robert Temple was doing a great show as well. Yourself, I believe that was it. I know there used to be a guy up there called Ben Darley who did a great show for years at the Free Fringe. But it's nice to see Stage Hypnosis getting that kind of exposure up there again. And it's great, like you said, it's a great way of you marketing your show by putting on those shows. And I think that's what Forewarning has got to be about. So absolutely well done. I know you sent me your video as an exclusive, but there is some copyright music on there, and if we played it, it would disconnect the live stream. But what I will do is I will post that on the Facebook page. And guys,
we're getting a copyright-free version, so this is the version that will go out to bookers. There will be one for social media, so don't worry about it.
Yeah. Awesome guys, do show Fraser lots of love. If you've got any questions, drop them in the comment section, and do check out his website as well.
Can I quickly, Grant, give Matt Hale and Robert Temple a massive shout out? I'm sure you and Jim have experienced it. Sometimes hypnotists aren't always willing to share and talk, and I reached out to Matt. I know it's enough. Trust me. Starting off, there was a lot of people that just left me on red, and they're still. That happens. But Matt Hale and his wife Catherine, Matt actually reached out to me and said, "I see you're going to the Fringe," which was incredible for me because I'm like, Matt Hale knows my name. This is awesome. And I met him at a PR event just before the festival started, and he was nothing but incredible. I asked him for advice, and the same with Robert Temple, saying, when's the best time to leaflet? And these guys did not need to share any of that because I was direct competition. It's the first time where I've been around other hypnotists in a working environment, and they've just been so caring and so loving. And I continue to reach out to Matt after the festival. And I went to Matt's very first show, and I'd only met him very briefly. And at the end of his show, he says, if you're looking for another amazing hypnosis show, Fraser Penman, please stand up. And that obviously brought people to me. And I done the exact same for him at the end of my show for the night he came to see me. And I just thought that was a really nice, touching fact. It was the first time where I thought, do you know what? Hypnotists aren't just colleagues, but they become friends. And that was awesome. I really, really enjoyed that. So, Matt, if you're watching, awesome. I'm so jealous because you're on a beach right now. But yeah, much love. And Robert as well. He's amazing.
Yeah. And do you know what? It's a weird thing as well. It's, we have a generation now of stage hypnotists that are about collaboration. Both me and Jim have experienced this as well. The old school days of everyone trying to just hold onto stuff themselves doesn't seem to be there now. Everybody does seem to be of this push of driving the quality of stage hypnosis forward, which is why both me and Jim kind of set up the Performing Hypnosis Summit. It was about getting everybody together to work together for that. So, yeah.
And you know what? You bring something new in, there's always going to be resistance. It's like in a workplace, if a new system changes, there's always going to be you're in this for yourself, you want to line your pockets, but time heals broken hearts, times heal everything. And I think what you guys are pushing forward with Paul and all the gang over there, it's awesome. And there will be resistance, of course there will be. It just takes time to prove the concept. So no, I love what you guys are doing. It's wicked.
We don't have resistance. We squash resistance. Awesome, Fraser, thank you very much for joining us. And yeah, thanks, I'll let you get back and get some sleep. Do take care, and thank you very much for joining us.
Awesome, guys. Listen, have a good one. Thank you so much for having me,
buddy. Hey, we also have a nice comment here from Drew McAdams. Said that he saw the show and it was very well received. Got a nice comment there.
Drew McAdam is one of my mentalist heroes, very high up in the mentalism world, has his own TV series, and I had the pleasure of spending some amazing time with him and getting some mentoring. So, Drew, thank you so much, everybody. Thank you so much for your support.
Awesome.
Drew, we want you to come present at the Performing Hypnosis Summit.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. So yeah, what a great guest. What a great guest indeed, actually. Fraser, great guy, and just smashing it. And you know what? A lesson to all of us out there. You've just got to take the bull by the horns and get out there and, knock on doors. Put yourself out there. Be the show. Yeah. So yeah, absolutely cool.
I like what he said too about, he had to put a lot of money out there. And I think there's a lot of people that they let that get in their way. And I understand if you're broke, you can't do it. But, if you can, you got to put that money out there to get it back someday. In fact, he talked about lining pockets with the Association Performing Hypnosis Summit. I assure you, none of us are lining our pockets yet. We hope to someday.
One day.
Yeah, but you do have to, that's what being an entrepreneur is about, is putting in the effort and then with the hope that you'll get paid someday.
Exactly. It's planting seeds. Planting seeds.
Absolutely.
I've planted enough seeds in my time. So speaking of the Performing Hypnosis Summit, there we go. The Performing Hypnosis Summit, as if
There
by
it
magic,
is.
is there February the 2nd to the 4th at the Orleans Casino in Las Vegas.
Yes.
I'm excited for that.
Oh, I am too. And you know what? We've just added to our team of advisors. William Mitchell actually is joining us. You know, the founder of the Michigan, or not the Michigan, it's Heartland Hypnosis Conference. And I don't know how he's going to have time. He's already got all kinds of things going on. And he also just had a gallbladder surgery. So hope you're feeling better, William. And update too on the website. The website's up. You can buy tickets there. You can sign up to be a presenter, but if you've signed up, we're changing the form. I'm having some trouble. I don't think I don't think their submissions are coming through. So I'm changing the form, and hopefully that will fix things. So if you haven't heard back from us, that's why.
There you go. Yeah. I was going to say, it's nothing worse than when people send it and then they think we've not got back to them. So
yeah,
iron out all the creases, which is cool. And another great hypnosis thing that is happening is you have got a fantastic course coming up, Jim.
Hypnosis 101. Come join me.
Handsome devil there.
God, who is that guy? Oh my God.
Yeah. Oh, I'm in the middle now. I'm in a Jim Kellner sandwich.
You lucky bastard.
I know. All the ladies will be jealous.
Yes, they will. Man, I love that intense look I got there too. Hold on, I can't even do it now. So yeah, come join me if you're wanting to learn hypnosis, or if you want to learn some new skills. Hypnosis 101. I'm looking forward to teaching that. Yeah.
You posted an interesting photo of you when you were younger earlier on Facebook.
Oh, yes, I did.
Yeah. Luckily, there is no images of me when I was younger. Which is cool.
I honestly feel I've gotten more handsome the older I get.
I agree. Well, do you know what? There was, and this is going off topic slightly. There was a great podcast that was talking about kind of the male-female attractiveness and why females in the olden days had to rush to get married because they had a window of 10 years. Because, you know, a guy's peak doesn't happen when he's young. It happens as he gets older. Right. So once, I think it's 30 was the mark that they say, once you pass 30, females, I don't know what the correct word is without us getting cancelled, Jim. And I've got myself down a bit of a cul-de-sac now.
Being most in demand?
Yes. Yes. It peaks at around about 30. Then after that, you know, the male attractiveness only grows until we get to our age, Jim.
Right, exactly.
There you go. Dennis says, you look like that when you found out that my wife wins at the casino. That's the intense look.
The intense look, yeah. How did she do it? Wow.
I think she uses hypnosis.
That's her secret.
Yes. I believe Dennis will be with us at the Performing Hypnosis Summit.
Well, he better be.
He better be.
That's right.
There we go. Speaking of stuff that's going on, the International Stage Hypnotist Association, it's been trickling around for quite some time now. On Monday, the 25th, whatever day that is, I think it's Monday/Sunday, depending on times. The International Stage Hypnotist Association, there was a pre-launch webinar. If you've not signed up for the email list, do so now, but do check out that. It's where you can ask questions. All of the people involved in it so far will be doing a bit of a presentation, so that will be interesting. If you've got any questions, do come along to that. Great people working together to do something good. That's what it's all about, Jim. Collaboration.
It is. I just set the record straight. That is one project I'm not personally involved in. So
not yet.
People keep lumping me in with everything. Yeah, I do got a lot of stuff going on, but that's one that
I was on a podcast the other day with someone, and they're like, "Oh yeah, your Pacific Northwest conference." I'm like, "That's not me." Thank you.
Right.
You know, credit by association.
Right.
It's because we do so much good work together, and we do our own independent things as well. I think for some people, they mistake us.
That's right.
That's exactly it. Cool. So yeah, tell us, how is that coming on the Pacific Northwest Conference?
That's going really well. We're going to be serving food this year. That'll be awesome. And I'll tell you. So one of the things that, and we've talked about this, but I don't know if everybody else has thought about this. We've kind of come to the conclusion. I think a lot of us that, well, I'm sure some of the other conference organizers knew this before, that eating together is a big deal. Doing things. It's really about the coming together as a community rather than maybe learning stuff. Although we're mixing that up a little bit with performing hypnosis. There's going to be some real takeaway skills with that, but the sense of community, that all coming together. And so we're investing a lot in food this year. So we'll be serving lunches both days. And honestly, when I say investing, it's actually the food costs exceed the rental of the space. So
Yeah,
by a lot.
and these hypnotists, they can eat.
They can
They
eat.
can eat.
They can eat. They can. Yeah. So it's coming along really well. We're just finalizing the details right now. We've already started selling tickets and looking forward to it.
Awesome. And you're going to be at the Michigan conference as well next year?
Oh, of course. Yes. Oh, did we already mention?
We didn't. No.
I can't remember last. Oh, well, speaking of the Michigan conference, I understand there's 2 incredible keynote speakers coming up this next year. Now, some of you may know that Connie Jo Holmes won Hypnotherapist of the Year at the Michigan Hypnosis Conference. She has been invited to be the keynote speaker, the opening keynote speaker, and the ending keynote speaker is our very own Grant Saunders. Everybody, give it up for him. Yeah.
I shall be bringing up the rear, dusting off my old funny jokes.
Oh, good. Wow. Excellent. The funny ones this time. Nice.
The funny ones, yeah. Do you know what? When I got asked, it was a great honor. So yeah. Dennis says Grant who? Exactly, Grant who? Who is he? I think there used to be a website.
Hey, thanks for watching.
A friend of mine set up that was "Who is Grant Saunders?" So, yeah. So no, I'm really looking forward to that as well. And again, the Michigan Hypnosis Conference is in its new home, which looks amazing, and it's in Detroit. It is almost within spitting distance than what it normally is. Normally you need something like built by Elon Musk to get there. Now it is within spitting distance. So I'm really looking forward to that one. It's already in the diary. I'm quite excited.
It's like you said, it's going to be so much easier to get to for those of us that have done the planes, trains, and automobiles to get to the previous ones. We finally can. Some of us will be able to take one airplane, maybe 2,
maybe 2. And you know, it was always nice though to fly into Detroit, pick up a car, and then go. So it'd be nice just to be flying to Detroit and then walk there near enough.
No muscle cars anymore.
Oh, yeah, I know. I might get a little smart car. Fantastic, guys. Well, thank you for joining us this week. If you're watching on the replay, please put #replay. Do check out both mine and Jim's stuff. We've got lots of stuff going on as well. Hypnosis Hero podcast, which is always amazing. I believe you got, is it Past Life Regression this week?
Past Life Regression this week, yeah. Very
That's
cool.
going to be fascinating.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is really cool. Guys, thank you very much for joining us. Please make our guest feel very welcome. Put lots of comments in the comment section for him. And please do. I shall see you next week. If you've got any news, stories, or anything interesting that's happening in the world of hypnosis that you would like to promote, then do drop us a message, send us a comment, write us a letter if you want to, and do let us know. Take care, guys, and I shall see you next week.
Take care.